Today on Judge Faith, this expectant mother wasn't expecting a dog attack.
I've had miscarriages before, so I was so stressed out.
I'm especially sympathetic, and you should be too, to a 20-year-old who's pregnant who gets bit in the face by your dog.
But Judge Faith won't tolerate any more lies from this dog owner.
Because you spent the last 10 minutes telling me they wouldn't give the dog... No, don't say no to me, because now I'm looking at the police report and it says something different.
And later, two grown men have a texting battle over a bad auto part.
So what happened when he came back to you and said,
well, after
"I'd like
like
my money
60
back"?
text messages on Father's Day, I felt like, I gotta give him a bone. I gotta throw him a bone, something. I gotta make him feel better. Get him off my back so I can enjoy my holiday. And he was texting me like a 13-year-old teenage girl.
Did you text him 60 times?
72.
72.
Plaintiff Bricoise Foster says she was attacked by a pit bull as she was returning from a pregnancy clinic. She's suing for $3,000 for eye, tooth, nose, and lip injuries. Defendant Juan Garcia claims his puppy was just playing, but animal control put it down. He's countersuing for $3,000 for the loss of a family pet.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Foster versus Garcia.
Thank you, Barbara. Bricoise Foster?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Juan Garcia?
Yes.
For $3,000 for injuries you say you sustained due to his pit bull attacking you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $3,000 for the
Correct.
loss of the pit bull?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll start with you, Ms. Foster. Tell me what's going on here.
Okay, I was coming from Gain, returning my proof of pregnancy. I was 3 months pregnant at the time. So I turn around, I see them struggling with the dog. I moved to the side to let them pass. They stopped. He told me that the dog was friendly. I stuck my hand out, and right as he was saying the dog was friendly, he doesn't bite, he jumped up and bit me in the face.
Wow. So you were walking down the street with your son that day?
Correct.
How old is your son?
12.
Okay. What kind of dog is this?
It's a pit bull,
How long have you had him?
since he was a puppy.
And so he's on a leash, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what happens.
What happened was we were walking behind this young lady. I asked her if she could move, and she said, "Oh, what a cute puppy," and proceeded to walk to us. She started petting the dog. I think what happened was my dog, Max, wanted to continue to play with her. He jumped up and scratched her with his claw on her eye. And as soon as that happened, what I did was I took off my shirt, I applied pressure to the wound.
Oh, so she was bleeding actively
Yeah.
at the time?
Yeah, right away.
Was it a lot of blood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
I noticed that a police officer was driving by, so I flagged him down.
Let me see a photo of the dog you submitted to court. Is that your son?
Yep.
And the dog, what's the dog's name?
Max?
Max. How bad, you said you were pregnant at the time?
Yes, I was 3 months pregnant.
3 months pregnant, how badly were you injured?
I had a gash, a deep gash in my nose and under my eye. I had a slight tipped tooth. My lip was swollen. I had scratches under my eye from his teeth. So he bit all of this. This was gashed in. This was ripped wide open.
Do you have photos of your injuries?
Yes, I
Can I
do.
see them? And you did have the baby? You
Yes,
did have your
she's
daughter?
3 weeks old in 1 day.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. She's healthy?
Yes.
Wow. This is... We're going to put these up on the flat screen. They are pretty graphic. Next photo. Wow. So what treatment did you get for your eye?
I had to get 4 stitches in my nose and 3 under my eye. And I didn't have the money at the time to go get it repaired, and due to my insurance, they denied me more coverage to get it fixed. And since it was already sewn up, they told me just to go home and see a specialist, but I didn't have the money for the specialist. So
What happened to Max?
The officer wanted me to surrender Max, so I did so. And a couple weeks later, they had already put Max down.
Okay, so you were trying to
I was trying
get
to-
the dog out?
Correct, ma'am.
At that time? And why do you think she owes you $3,000?
Because I figure this whole situation would have never happened if she would have just moved over and let us pass her by. The point
So you
is,
feel she's responsible for your dog biting her in the face?
in a way, yes.
While
because-
she was walking down the sidewalk and stopped to perhaps pet him?
Correct.
That she should pay $3,000 for your dog after he bit her in the face?
Well, I lost I paid $500 for Max. And then
You're
like
suing her for $3,000.
Yeah, and then he's like pretty much my family member. Like,
And you think this is her
that's
fault?
emotional, huh?
I mean, you didn't come into court today and say she antagonized
but
him. What did she do wrong? What did she do wrong?
What did she do wrong? She didn't do nothing wrong.
Okay.
Neither did Max. Though.
Okay.
Neither did Max.
Okay.
Max was just trying to play.
Coming up on Judge Faith, what's the story with this dog owner?
You were scared to take him home that day yourself, and you could have.
Well, that's what the officer says. I really don't recall saying that, man, Your Honor.
The officer's lying or mistaken.
And later, how much texting equals harassment?
72 times you texted him. How do you know? Did you count your text messages?
Pardon?
You counted your text messages?
Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, I'm not asking you to count.
Well, yeah.
It's okay, sir.
Plaintiff Rakois Foster is suing the defendant for injuries she sustained when his pit bull scratched and bit her. Defendant Juan Garcia is countersuing because his dog was euthanized.
You brought a witness with you today?
Yeah, my son.
Who did you bring? Oh, you
My
brought
son?
your son.
Yeah.
Okay, bring him into court.
Just step aside behind your dad. Thank you.
Are you Zane Garcia?
Yes.
How old are you?
12.
12 years old? Okay, what grade are you in school?
7th.
7th grade? You had a dog named Max?
Yeah.
A pit bull?
Yes.
How long did you have Max?
For 3 years.
3 years? Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you just start from the beginning and tell me what happened when you were walking Max?
She was walking the same direction, and my dad asked her if she could move out the way.
And then she did what?
And then she started petting him, and when she got off, Max wanted more attention, so he jumped up, and on accident scratched her eye.
You saw a lot of blood?
Well, I saw like a little bit of blood putting down.
Now, before coming into court today, did you and your dad discuss your testimony?
Yeah.
What did you discuss?
Like what to say, like,
What to say?
yeah, like,
Did you tell him what you were going to say?
yeah, like the truth.
The truth? Because you know how important it is to tell the truth?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead and walk behind your dad. Thanks. And out this door, please.
Do you have any reports from animal control? Did you contact animal control to see if the dog had his rabies shots? Had the dog had shots?
Yes, ma'am, he
No,
did.
he did not have shots.
Oh, you contacted animal control?
Yes, I have all the papers.
Oh,
They
let
said
me
he
see
did
that.
not have any type of shots.
Okay, so the police say here, sir, that you were not able to provide proof of a licensed rabies vaccination because you didn't have any money. Do you remember telling them that?
Yeah, no, I do remember telling him that.
Okay, so the dog didn't have his rabies shots.
What do you mean?
Sir, did you tell them that the dog didn't have his rabies shots because you didn't have the money?
No, what I said was I had to surrender Max because they wanted me to pay a certain amount.
That's not what the officer said here. In his report, this is the officer's report, he wrote that you were scared to take Max home because you were not sure he would jump and bite a family member. Do you remember telling that to the police?
After the fact that that this situation
Really?
happened.
Because you spent the last 10 minutes telling me that you wanted your dog and that you
Yeah,
kept
but
calling animal control and they wouldn't give the dog,
No.
and that you found out that the
No,
dog had been put down.
The thing was,
No, don't say no to me because now I'm looking at the police report and it says something different. Did you not think, I guess you didn't know she had this evidence with her today.
no,
It says in the report that you were scared to take Max home because you were not sure he would jump and bite a family member.
okay, I guess I said that then. But I'm really
And
here.
you want her to pay because Max had to be put down?
Correct,
You want her to pay for that.
correct.
And you were scared to take him home that day yourself, and you could have.
Well, that's what the officer says. I really don't recall saying that, ma'am, Your Honor.
So the officer's
But-
wrong.
Well,
The
no,
officer's
I'm not
lying
saying
or
that.
mistaken?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm saying I don't recall saying that.
But he did tell me that he bit me, his dog bit me in the face, and that it wasn't that bad.
Actually, I said I think he might have bit you.
And I still need eye
So
surgery.
so that day you told her you think the dog bit her.
Yeah, I said,
and
"Oh, I think my
today,
dog bit you."
You come into court and you say the
Yeah,
dog
'cause
jumped up. Stop talking. Because your story's obviously changing, sir, because you think you're gonna come in here and make a better case for yourself.
No, I'm not.
And every time I ask you, and every time you get caught, you change it up a little bit. I think I may have said this, or I don't remember saying that.
All right.
How about just doing what your 12-year-old son did and tell the truth?
That's what I'm doing.
You live in one of the states that has one of the strictest laws on dog bites, when dogs bite another person. The fact that it actually happened, that fact alone makes you responsible. What bothers me is how you're handling this now.
Okay.
That's what bothers me about it. I'm especially sympathetic, and you should be too, to a 20-year-old who's pregnant, who gets bit in the face by your dog. You didn't even want to take the dog home. You told the officer, I don't want to take the dog home because I'm afraid he might bite one of my family members.
Like I said, I don't recall
But then you
saying
want to
that.
come into court and tell me, oh, I was trying to get my dog, he was put down, and people are feeling sorry for you, and the whole story was just a bunch of baloney. Your counterclaim for $3,000 is dismissed, but I'm ordering you to pay the full judgment to the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. Good luck.
Plaintiff Stan Esparza claims he was sold a faulty injector pump. He's suing for $1,437 for the part and expenses. Defendant Todd Brames claims the part was sold as is and says he was bombarded by text messages from the disgruntled plaintiff. He is joined in court by his wife, Anza Brames.
Your Honor, this case is Esperanza versus Brames.
Thank you, Barbara. Stan Esparza?
Yes, ma'am.
You were suing the defendant, Todd Brames?
Correct.
For $1,437. $700 for a diesel injector pump you say he sold you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to be refunded that money? In addition, you're suing for towing and travel and $300 in labor. Okay,
ma'am.
tell me what's going on here, sir.
I originally contacted him on Craigslist to purchase an injector pump for a 98 Dodge diesel.
What is an injector pump? What does it do?
It's similar to a carburetor on a regular car. It distributes the fuel into the engine.
Do either of you have a copy of the ad?
No, I do not.
No.
Okay.
It said that it was less than a year old, that it was a good pump.
Okay, and what do you say the ad said? That's pretty important, by the way.
Well, the ad said essentially, it was a rebuild part that I bought used. That's why I sold it for $700.
And what do these fuel injector pumps normally go for?
Anywhere from $1,200 all the way up to $2,000, depending on where you buy it.
Okay, so $700 was a deal. You contact him, it's $700,
Yes, ma'am.
and do you at some point drive to go take a look at
I
it?
drive down to Sugar Land to Houston, 200-something miles from home.
Okay, that's a long
All right, I
drive.
come down there with cash to pick up the pump. Everything is going fine. The pump looks nice and clean.
Well, did you test it beforehand?
You can't test an injector pump.
Sir, what do you do? What do you do for a living?
I'm retired.
Retired?
I'm on disability.
In what profession?
Mechanic and truck driver.
Okay, so you were a mechanic.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're buying an injector pump from Craigslist from someone
ma'am.
you don't know.
Right.
Why would you buy a product and pay $700 for a product that you can't test? I'm just wondering, as a former mechanic, why you would do that.
Well, because of the price, it implies that it would be a good pump for $700.
Where'd you get this pump from?
I bought it 100 miles past San Antonio, which is about 450 miles.
So you just went on Craigslist and you decided, I
Yeah.
don't need this pump,
Yeah.
right? And so you were going to sell it on
I
Craigslist.
actually found it on Craigslist, yes. I sold it
You
to
have a-
him because I no longer needed it.
Do you have a photo of the pump, sir?
I do.
May I see it, please? I'm just curious. I want to know what this looks like. Okay, let's look at this in the flat screen. Is this the pump you purchased, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
It looks new.
I'm sorry?
It looks new. That's why
It
I
looks
bought
new.
it.
It's clean.
What do? You try to install it in a truck?
I put it in my truck.
And what happens?
It wouldn't bleed. The fuel has to go all the way through the pump to each cylinder before
So
it
it wouldn't work?
It wouldn't work.
And why do you think he owes you a refund for the pump?
I bought it on good faith. It was a good pump for $700. I gave him $700 of my hard-earned
So
money.
you went back to him and you asked him for your money back?
Yes, ma'am.
And he said no initially?
He said no, as is.
So what happened when he came back to you and said,
Well, after
"I'd
like
my money
60 text messages on Father's Day, get him off my back so I can enjoy my holiday. We were going to the beach, taking my boat, we're gonna have a great day. And he was texting me like a 13-year-old teenage girl.
Coming up, did the plaintiff text the defendant to insanity?
And I just felt like, he's not doing me any favors driving me crazy.
Plaintiff Stan Esparza is suing for a defective fuel pump and repair expenses. Defendant Todd Brames says he sold the used part as is.
I absolutely, positively decided at that point, he's insane. And I just felt like, you know, he's not doing me any favors driving me crazy. I sold him as is, no warranty, nothing implied, nothing guaranteed on Craigslist. It's like he's gonna go back to a garage sale and get his money back for some little buffet that just doesn't quite do the job. I just felt like, you know, please, you know, let's be gentlemen about this. But after 60 text messages, back
Did you text him 60 times?
Those are his text messages.
72.
72. Lord have mercy. I mean,
yeah.
come on.
I have a lot of time on my hands.
I understand you brought a witness with you today, sir?
Yes, I did.
Your wife? Would you step up, ma'am? What do you have to say about this?
When it was Father's Day, he left the car on because he was texting so many times.
Oh, wow.
We left the car on in the driveway, we went to the beach, and when we came back at nighttime, the car, all the gas was out. And also, our neighbor had our keys. He left the key and the engine on.
Oh, you left the car running the entire
That's how
day.
distracted he was, or he had distracted me from a holiday. This is Father's Day, Stan.
Yeah.
So that was it, because he was telling me that this guy was texting him.
How long after
about the
you
pump.
sold the fuel pump did he start texting you, asking you for your money back?
18, 19 days.
19 days later, sir?
It was between the 25th and the 12th
Okay, thank you,
of
ma'am.
May.
72 times you texted him. How do you know? Did you count your text messages?
Pardon?
You counted your text messages?
Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, I'm not asking you to
About
count.
12, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay, sir. It's okay.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
$700 is a lot of money to spend on a product that you can't test ahead of time, because Craigslist sales, he's right about this one point. When you buy something from Craigslist, it is an as-is sale. It's an as-is sale. Unless someone gives you a warranty, a written warranty, or a guarantee that it works, which he didn't, it's an as-is sale. Everything you've told me, sir, everything you told me does not establish that this is a person who gave you a written guarantee or any guarantee that this pump would work. He told you perhaps what he thought. I think it's a good pump. He doesn't know. And then you know that he bought it from another party. And you know, basically when you buy something from Craigslist, it's buyer beware. And as a former mechanic, you should know better. And here's the thing, you wanted a deal. You saw a pump on Craigslist for $700. They normally go for $1,200 or higher. You wanted a deal. So that's why you paid $700 for the pump. You didn't pay it because, oh, if they're selling it for $700, it must be good. You thought you were getting a bargain.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, but that's not his fault. Because when you buy something on Craigslist, you buy it as is. It is by default an as-is sale, unless you can come into court and produce to me a guarantee, a warranty from the defendant, and you have not been able to do that.
So what I can do is I can go back on Craigslist and put that pump on there and say I bought this from a person that said it was good for $1,100 and sell it to somebody else for $700?
No, because you can't lie. Because you now know that the pump is bad. But you can't prove to me that he knew the pump was bad. If you lie to someone, that's fraud.
Right.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
If you came in here and said he knew the pump was bad, he lied to me, completely different case, completely different scenario, completely different ruling. But you can't do that. But if you turn around and do that, then you're committing fraud, sir, so you can't do that. Okay. Unfortunately, this is just one of those things that didn't work out for you. But buyer beware, it's an as-is sale, and I can't do an as-is sale without a written guarantee or some kind of warranty from the defendant. Judgment in this case for the defendant. Good luck.
Thank you, Honor.
Did this defendant find a friend or a garage full of trouble?
I met Donna through a dating site.
What dating site was it?
Adult Friend Finder. I had family heirlooms. I was talking to her about putting it in storage. She goes, no, don't waste your money because I have room in my garage.
That was totally false.
You say something else happened that triggered the breakdown of your friendship. What happened?
She got paid to watch my child when I was supposed to go to surgery. She wrote hours that she got paid when she only worked 6 hours.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
Oh, I think you know something about what she's talking about.
And later, this landlord seems to be a high roller.
Why did you keep the $460?
Okay, first of all, I think this whole case is a little bit petty.
$460 may not matter to you, sir, but it matters to some people.
Thank you, Judge. He wasn't even there at the end of the lease walkthrough.
Now you're asking for some of the security deposit back. You've already returned it to him. And now you want
I had
some of that back.
out-of-pocket expenses that I decided not to charge him for.
That was your choice.
Plaintiff Karen Forrest is suing her former friend to either return the family heirlooms she stored in the defendant's garage or pay $3,000 to cover the loss of the items. She's in court today with witness Kelsey Feldseth. Defendant Donna Carrillo claims she told the plaintiff she would need to pay $25 a month for storing the items in her garage. She's in court today with witness Kathleen Hellickson.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Forrest versus Carrillo.
Thank you, Barbara. Karen Forrest?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Donna Carrillo, for $3,000, the value of property you say she has that belongs to you.
That is correct.
Okay, why don't we start with you, ma'am? How do you know Ms. Carrillo?
I met Donna about 3 years ago through a mutual friend, through a dating site.
What do you mean by that?
Online dating.
What dating site was it?
Adult Friend Finder.
Okay. But you're on there to meet men.
It's actually to meet anybody.
Okay. I guess I'm trying to understand this.
There's couples on there.
I'm just trying to understand. So someone tells you there's another cool woman on the site, you two should meet each other?
Yes. And we became very good friends. We had gone out together. She would meet somebody. I'd go out with her when she meets somebody for a drink, you know, just to protect her and ourselves.
Yeah, because I've been through some stuff, and I really don't trust people or men very much. So
I was
she
her
would go
support
with me.
system.
And what happened from there?
I had to move out of my house in February of 2013.
Why?
I couldn't keep the mortgage paid on anymore, and I was having to rent rooms out, and I just couldn't do it anymore.
So you were downsizing?
So I was downsizing. I had stuff that was through my family heirlooms. I was going to put it in storage. I was talking to her about putting it in storage. She goes, no, no, no. She goes, don't waste your money, put it in storage. She goes, I have room in my garage, save your money. I said, are you sure? She goes, yeah, I have plenty of room.
What was the agreement as to how long you would keep these things in her garage?
Until I moved somewhere else and had a bigger place.
What do you say the agreement was?
Okay, that was totally false. I have a little tiny garage. So I said, you know, I have a little bit of room. I said, you could store it here. You know, because we're friends. You're supposed to help friends out. I said, when you get a job or whatever, when you get some money, give me 20 here or 20 there.
What did she put in your garage?
She put a hutch. She put the bar stools that were stained and a coffee table that was scratched up.
No, there was nothing wrong
Hold on a
with none of
second,
my
ma'am.
stuff.
Ma'am, go ahead. A coffee table?
Yeah,
and what else?
miscellaneous stuff.
Where are they now?
Okay, 70%, and I have a witness that knows I gave her back 70% of her stuff.
Okay, did you get some of the stuff back?
She gave me back my Christmas stuff and my personal photos and photo albums.
February 2013, you moved things into her garage.
Correct.
When do you come back to get the stuff?
I don't recall what month and year. Do you recall when that was I came and got that few things?
It was, I'm gonna say May of 13.
So about
May
3 months.
But, so she gave me those few items. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. She texted me and said, her exact words were, I'm putting your out on the front porch. You either come get it, or if somebody steals it, not my problem.
Did you text her that?
I sure did, ma'am.
Okay, why?
Because she did something that is gonna be in a criminal case that I can't dissolve here, but I found out about it, and that's why.
Wait, so is there an open criminal case right
No.
now that you have?
No.
So there's no open criminal case
It's
involving
not-
her.
I'm getting all the evidence together because I was gonna present it here.
Does it relate to this case?
Nope.
No.
Something completely separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I gave her the stuff back because of the kindness of my heart. Because I believe, no, I did.
You know what? If you
Half
gave me
of
the
her
stuff, the kindness of my heart, it would have been my grandmother's and the stuff, the family heirlooms. That's the kind, and it's my stuff.
What do you say is missing?
The china hutch, the bar stool, the coffee table, everything that was in the china hutch, the china,
And
the
where do you say that
crystal.
property is?
I have the hutch still, ma'am.
Okay, what about the bar stools and the coffee table?
The letters, if you read them, I got letters through all my neighbors.
I want you to answer the question.
okay.
Where are the bar stools and the coffee table?
I gave them away.
Okay. Okay.
Seriously?
Yes, it's been 2 years.
Why did you do that?
No.
Why
It's
did you do
been
that?
2 years, and I'm getting ready to move, and I can't move her stuff too.
Coming up, is there more at stake here than storage space?
She got paid like 100 hours.
No, I
she
did
only
not.
worked 6 hours. I needed her there as a friend, and she was not there.
And later, if you sue me, then I'm gonna sue you.
Now you're asking for some of the security deposit back. You've already returned it to him.
Well, I thought that the pettiness wouldn't exist and that I wouldn't be here today.
So you're suing in retaliation because he sued you.
Plaintiff Karen Forrest is suing her former friend for refusing to return her belongings. Defendant Donna Carrillo is upset that the plaintiff took advantage of their friendship.
You say something else happened that triggered the breakdown of your friendship. What happened?
I was shot in 2006 in a home invasion, and I've had over 13 surgeries, and I have an autism baby that's 5 years old. She got paid to watch my child when I was supposed to go to surgery. And my daughter had to leave school. Now my daughter, it's gonna cost her $500 to get back into school when she already got paid to take care of my autistic child.
You never paid me money.
So this was a part of a program?
Yes.
And she got paid
for
through the...
autism. Yeah. She wrote hours that she got paid when she only worked 6 hours.
No. No.
You what?
I have no idea what she's talking about.
Step up, ma'am. You look like you have something to say.
Because she has told me from her own mouth that, yes, she was getting paid to do the work and that she did sign for hours that were not worked. That was out of her mouth to me.
My daughter, that's 23, had to leave school to take care of me and my son because she didn't come and do her job. And that really hurt me and my children. You know, I needed her there as a friend, and she was not there.
I had to move out of my house. I had a move-out date. Was I supposed to lose all my stuff?
She got paid like 100 hours.
No, I did not.
She only worked 6 hours.
No, I have no idea what she's talking about.
I think you know something about what she's talking about.
Well, apparently she has a criminal case she has going against me, so I
Well,
figure
not yet, but there might be. Thank you, ma'am. What do you have to say? You step up, please.
Oh. I was there during...
Did you guys decide to do matching hair for court today? Just so...
Oh, pardon? I'm a hairstylist. I did her hair. Okay. I was living with her when we had to leave the house, when we were asked to move out.
So you were asked to move out. You weren't downsizing.
Well, it was...
You were being evicted.
We couldn't afford to keep the house
You were
anymore.
being evicted?
Yes.
Okay.
So we had to leave at a certain date. Unless we wanted to be locked out and lose all of our belongings, we had to get it out as soon as possible.
Thank you. You can have a seat. So there's no question that you put some things into her garage. The question is, did you abandon those items under the law? And if so, does she have the authority to then sell them or give them away? You say the first time you go back to try to get those items out, she doesn't allow you to get most of your things?
Correct.
Did you call the police at that point to try to get your things?
No, I did not.
Okay, what did you do?
We became friends again after that.
And so you continue to leave the things in her garage?
I left them there. And so we started hanging out and everything, and we started talking about me getting my stuff back, and she says, oh yeah, sure, you know, I'm not that type of person, you know, I want to let you have your stuff back. Then that's when I got a text message, which I have right here, that says, you cannot have your back.
May I see the text?
Yes.
What month and date is that text message from?
It'd be June 26, 2014.
Okay, and is this the point you told her what's blacked out here on the text message?
You know, I don't recall.
Okay, so your best evidence is a text message to me with half of the messages blacked out, and I can't even make sense of what this says. You say you're going to file a criminal case against her, and you tried to explain it to me today. Neither one of you are being forthcoming. I cannot help you, ma'am. Your case is dismissed. Judgment for the defendant.
Thank you. Thank you.
Plaintiff John Costello is suing his former landlord for $460, the remainder of his security deposit. Defendant David Geske is countersuing in the amount of $1,300 for damages he discovered after the majority of the security deposit was returned.
John Costello.
Yes.
You are suing the defendant David Geske for $460, the return of the remaining of your security deposit?
That's correct.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $1,300 for damages?
That's correct.
We'll start with you, Mr. Costello. Give me some background and tell me how you know Mr. Geske.
Well, back in May of 2011, my girlfriend and I moved into Mr. Geske house in Huntington Beach. And we liked it because it was a nice secluded neighborhood close to the beach. It was a beautiful place. He had a lot of upgrades, real nice. It was a little dirty when we moved in.
Okay, and Mr. Geske, is this a home that you own and just rent out to tenants?
That's correct.
Do the two of you enter into a lease agreement?
Yes, we
do. You have a copy of that?
Yes, I do.
How long did he live in your home, sir?
He entered in May of 2011 and exited in April of 2014.
Oh, so you lived there for a while. Okay, you were paying $2,700 a month for rent. So what kind of tenant was he, sir?
Early in the lease, I had received communication from Mr. Costello. I sensed that he was trying to pull me into some of his financial problems, and I had to issue a 3-day notice to pay or quit.
Wait, you said early in the lease?
Within 4 months.
You moved in May 1st, and then in September, you tell him you can't pay the September rent?
I just put it that there's a possibility, and I was starting a negotiation, and without any kind of, oh, well, what's going on? It was notice. And so I'm like, okay, there's no give on this guy, so we paid him. And
why should there be? It was just business.
That was back in 2011. Were there other issues with the rent? Or did that take care of things?
No, as a matter of fact, I wanted...
So you got the message. Now you see why he sent you a 3-day
That's exactly
notice.
Right. 2x4.
Coming up, the plot thickens.
Did the two of you have some kind of falling out or something?
Well, he tried to hit on my girlfriend once.
What?
Plaintiff John Costello is suing his former landlord for the remaining portion of his security deposit for a luxury townhouse. Defendant David Geske is countersuing for damages he discovered after the plaintiff and his girlfriend moved out.
I'd never had issues since then, and as we renewed the lease, I decided to reward him and return a portion of the security deposit each and every year. So now the security deposit was only $3,000.
You have a $3,000 security deposit when he moves out.
That's correct.
You return $2,540 and you keep $460, which is why you are suing.
That's correct.
Why did you keep the $460?
Okay, first of all, I think this whole case is a little bit petty. Let me just put that out there.
$460 may not matter to you, sir, but it matters to some people.
Thank you, Judge.
We can't all be high rollers like you, Mr. Geske.
Well, you know, there's valid reason for it. There were 3 things that I charged for and then I submitted receipts for. The landscaping in the back of the property. The grass was dead, as you can see in the pictures. I was putting the home back.
But what did the grass look like before he moved in?
Well, it looked way better than that. It was, you know,
Do you have a photo of that?
You just want me to take your word for it? Sir, would you agree that the grass was a lot greener than what it is in the photo he just showed me? Or did it look like that?
I can't remember back then. All I know is that we were not responsible per the lease for...
Oh, yes, you were.
What,
Look at section
show me
11B
where in the
of
lease,
the lease,
actually.
right here. 11A, right here. Tenants shall properly use, operate, and safeguard premises.
Mr. Geske, I can read it.
Okay, go.
Let me just look at the rest of the photos. Okay, what is this?
So the blinds were made inoperable. The string was broken, and so when you pull the string...
You can't use them at all?
Right.
Okay.
Right, correct. So I had to have a company come out...
What happened?
And restring it. It was $135, and that's part of the $460.
I should have noted that at the walkthrough. I'm going to give this one to him. You know, I'm just going to be fair about this because the blinds were too heavy for the strings. I didn't note it in the
He's lived there for 3 years, and you know there's some ordinary wear and tear when someone lives in a home for 3 years, and these are the blinds that they use every day. You don't think that you having to spend $150 to replace the string on the blinds after 3 years is a part of ordinary, normal wear and tear?
It could be, but I was restoring the property to the original condition that I had delivered it to him.
That's fine if you want to do that, but he's only responsible for any damages outside of normal wear and tear.
But
let's go to the next photo.
So this is damage to the wood inside the bedroom. Probably it's buckling from water damage.
What's going on with the windowsill? Now that does look like damage.
It appears...
I have no idea because he brought this up to me last week. He wasn't even there at the end of the lease walkthrough, so what happened?
Sir, did you do a walkthrough?
I was not in attendance during the walkthrough.
Who did the walkthrough?
My leasing agent accepted delivery of the property and the keys, but she's not a property manager.
So who did the walkthrough?
I don't know what they did because I wasn't there. I mean,
exactly
but you're the landlord, though.
Right, I was out of town.
You're counterclaiming for $1,300.
Right.
But you've already returned his entire security deposit except for $460.
Right, so this would be the wood repair. The wood repair was $400 on the windowsill. And then if you look at the paint throughout the property, there were splotches on pretty much every wall.
So that's why you have to do your due diligence before you return someone's security deposit, because now you're asking for some of the security deposit back. You've already returned it to him. And now you want some of that back.
I had out-of-pocket expenses that I decided not to charge him for.
That was your choice.
Right.
I don't know what you want me to do about it.
Right. So, well, I thought that the pettiness wouldn't exist and that I wouldn't be here today. So I decided to just let that go. Fixing the paint splotches.
So you're suing in retaliation because he sued you?
Well,
basically.
I mean, if I'm here, I might as well try to recover some of the out-of-pocket expenses. I had a $2,900 painting and wood repair bill.
And you had a $3,000 security deposit that you gave back, except for the $460 that he's suing for. I mean, this is all on you. When you walk into the home and you assess damages, and then you take the time to write a check and mail someone a check for the remainder. So it looks highly suspect for you to come into court months later and then say, oh, by the way, there's another $2,000 worth of damages, Judge. It just looks like it's a retaliatory claim, sir.
Well, I'm not one to pinch pennies.
I don't know you.
I mean, I just...
Let me ask you something. Did the two of you have some kind of falling out or something?
Well, he tried to hit on my girlfriend once.
What?
The text, you want to go for a beer? We didn't respond. I mean, you know, you're going to go to here, we're going to bring it up. I don't know if that's it, but...
I don't agree with that.
It was a one-time... you know what? Hey, to be fair, it was a one-time thing. We didn't respond, never happened again, but it was weird.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Wow, your walkthrough agent said that, in her opinion, the property was in good condition with no major issues. I'm dismissing your counterclaim.
Okay.
I am ordering you to return $325 of the $460 of the security deposit you kept for the plaintiff. I am allowing you, sir, to keep $135, which is the cost to replace the blinds. Judgment for the plaintiff, the amount of $325.
Thank you, Judge.
These two lovebirds bought a camper together. Then he took off across the country with it and stuck her with the payments.
You purchased a camper together?
Yes, but he was buying it.
She was more excited about the RV than I was. I just told her, look, I'm gonna go on my own trip, see my brother in Oklahoma.
From that day to this day, have you ever seen the camper again?
No, ma'am.
Or have you ever seen him again?
And later, she rented her home to a woman who has excuse after excuse for why she couldn't pay the rent.
Do you have evidence of the months that they failed to pay rent?
I have a ledger.
You admit that you didn't pay. Why?
The house wasn't properly insulated.
Are you telling me you withheld rent because it was too cold in the home?
No, there was a leak from the roof.
So was it that the leak wasn't as bad in certain months, the months that you did pay rent?
Plaintiff Sharon Backen says that her ex-boyfriend took off with a camper they purchased together and stuck her with the bills. She is suing to get her money back. Defendant Steven Zaski says he's been paying off the camper for years and only stopped when he couldn't get insurance. He is countersuing for the return of his deposit.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Bakken versus Zaski.
Thank you, Barbara. Sharon Bakken?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Steve Zaski?
Yes.
For $7,942 for an unpaid camper loan?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $2,000 for a refund of the down payment for the camper?
Yes,
that's
Your
in
Honor.
dispute in this case? Okay, and you understand, ma'am, that the statutory maximum in my court is $5,000?
Yes, ma'am.
So in September of 2009, the two of you purchased a camper together?
Yes, but he was buying it. He negotiated the price for the camper.
That's
he filled
not
out
true.
the application. The salesman came back and said, I'm sorry, we cannot finance you. And that's when he looked at me and he said, The payments are only $139 a month. I'll have it paid off in no time.
And that's
Okay,
not
what
true.
do you say
So I
happened,
did it.
sir?
We went to the dealership together, and she was more excited about the RV than I was. You know, she liked going on trips to Mississippi, seeing her folks in Florida, friends, and we did traveling together there for a couple, 2 or 3 months. And I figured, you know, if she wanted to finance it, I was okay with that. And she was more than willing to go ahead and sign for everything. I put down $2,000 on it, and
What was the total price for the camper?
Right around $8,000 or $9,000.
So at this time, the two of you, is this a serious relationship because you're thinking that this is all going to work out? You're putting a down payment down and all of these payments, but the title is in your name?
Yeah, you know, we've been together quite a few months. We was getting along pretty good, other than the fact, you know, she was drinking too much. You know,
That is not true, Your Honor.
And she started accusing me of seeking other relationships, and I was just very discontent with that, and I was like, whatever, I just go to bed. And
He was.
And after our trips together, I just told her, look, I'm gonna go on my own trip, see my brother in Oklahoma. And I wasn't gone 2 or 3 days. She emailed me this Dear John letter saying that she was through with me.
How long after you purchased the camper did you take this trip to Oklahoma by yourself and you say she wrote you a letter?
I'm thinking it was about 3 or 4 months.
Okay, and is this the kind of camper, do you have a photo of the camper? I'd like to see it.
I do.
So this is the kind of camper you attach to a truck or a vehicle and it pulls the camper along with it, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so you are having some problems in the relationship and he decides to take this camper on a trip to Oklahoma. From that day to this day, have you ever seen the camper again?
No, ma'am.
Or have you ever seen him again?
No.
Coming up on Judge Faith, she realizes that purchasing a camper and putting the title in her name probably wasn't such a good idea.
There was nothing I could do. They started calling me. So
Right.
I had to start making the payments.
And that is exactly why these kind of transactions and deals don't work.
And later, Judge Faith schools the defendant.
When people are in college and they get student loans and they're using a portion of that to pay rent, they keep part of that money for the summertime when they're not in school so they know that their rent is covered for the entire year. Did you not do that?
No.
Okay.
Plaintiff Sharon Backen says her ex-boyfriend took off with their camper and she was left behind to pay the bills. She is suing for her fees and expenses. But defendant Stephen Zaski says he made the payments for years and is countersuing for the return of his money.
When he took this trip to Oklahoma, did you know that he was leaving at the time with the camper?
No, ma'am. I did know he was going to move to California. I just didn't know when. And he decided, armed with our agreement, to take off while I was at work.
That's not
And
true.
what's the agreement you're referring to?
Right here, Your Honor.
May I see it? So the two of you actually entered into a written agreement about
Yes,
the camper
ma'am.
and the payments?
That was an agreement I signed, Your Honor. I was reassuring Ms. Bakken that if I was going to keep the RV, I'd make payments, you know, and we had that agreement.
And how long after you signed this agreement did you leave for Oklahoma, sir?
I think it was 3 months after that. Things went downhill quick.
So according to this agreement, it confirms that you put the down payment for the camper, taxes, insurance, and licensing for a total of $3,000. In addition, it states that you will be responsible for all of the monthly payments.
That's correct.
For the camper. How much were the monthly payments?
$135, and then the insurance.
$135?
Yeah, with the
roughly?
insurance it was like $250, $260.
Okay, and at the end of the payments, ownership of the camper, the title will be transferred from you to you. That's what
That's
you agreed
correct.
to.
Yes.
And
Yes,
then
Your Honor.
finally, you agree that this document releases the plaintiff from any financial obligations concerning money owed on the camper. So that's basically the essence of the agreement that the two of you entered into.
Yes, Your Honor.
So he leaves shortly after this agreement is entered into. Do you continue to make the monthly payments?
Up until just, a year ago.
At some point, which is what brings us here today, you say that he stopped making payments, breached the contract, and you actually paid the camper off.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's continued to be in his possession during this entire
Yes,
time.
ma'am. The first thing that happened is he let me know that he couldn't afford to pay the payment or get
That's
the
a
tag.
lie.
His truck had broke down and cost him a bunch of money, and he couldn't pay the tag payment or the insurance, and so he asked me to have him defer it, and of course I didn't.
How many payments had he missed when you found out about it?
3 months.
Okay, and how were you notified?
I got online and looked at the account, and I received a bill.
When you realized that he had missed 3 payments,
right.
How did you reach out to him? What did you do to contact
I asked him to pay the payment.
And what happened? What was the response?
No response.
And what was the reason? Why did you miss payments on the camper?
Okay, number one, I had a head blew out in my truck. It cost me $2,400 to get it fixed, and I couldn't have the truck unless I paid that. Okay, I came up short, and I asked her for a deferred payment. She said no. That put me 3 months behind.
You were
I needed
3
some
months
help.
behind. And you can understand you fell 3 months behind on the camper, and this is affecting your credit,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. There was nothing I could do. They started calling me. So
Right.
I had to start making the payments.
And that is exactly why these kind of transactions and deals don't work.
Right.
They don't work because the title is in her name. You know, the two of you don't have kids together, but you have tied yourself to this man for years because of this camper. Because the title, when you got it in 2009, was in your name and you're the owner, and you have to rely on him no matter where he is. You have no idea what he's doing. You have to rely on him each and every month for years to make a monthly payment on this camper, and you just don't want to do that. So what you end up doing, so your credit doesn't take a hit,
That's
you end
right.
up paying how much for the camper?
A total of $6,300.
And why don't you think you owe, sir, given the contract that the two of you entered into, that you would be responsible for making all of the payments? Why don't you think you owe?
Because I could not move the camper. I couldn't, it wasn't licensed. I couldn't pull it over the road without getting tickets. She stopped the insurance. She canceled the tag. When I called the insurance, they would not talk to me. They said that Sharon had to talk to them. She wanted me to sell the RV and keep my $2,000, and I had no way of doing that. I mean, this is what I had to deal with.
You have
the evidence, Your
a
Honor.
counterclaim for $2,000, sir. What is that for?
It is for the down payment of the RV. I also came out of pocket with the down payment on the insurance and things like that. Now, that vehicle was for both of our use. Now she's pretending like it was all mine and my idea. It wasn't.
She hasn't used it for the past 5-6 years.
Well, I don't
So
think
with the
that's
intent,
right.
I don't care what the intent was, I'm telling you what the reality is of the situation.
All right.
Where's the camper now?
It is outside of Las Vegas in a town called Courtroom.
Why is it there?
Because it can't be moved because there's no insurance or tags on it.
Okay. You want the camper back, or do you want him to pay you for the camper?
I want the money that I have spent on the camper.
Do you have a copy of the title with you?
Yes.
May I see it, please? Thank you. Here's what we're going to do. Based on the agreement that the two of you entered into, sir, in 2009, you promised that you would make the payments on this camper, and you absolved her of any financial responsibility to this camper in terms of making the payments.
All right.
You stopped making payments on the camper. You breached the contract, and I find the reasons that you gave the court today as far as your defense for breaching the contract to be insufficient. So I find that you do owe for this camper. She should not have been the one to have to pay off this camper. You've had it for the last 5 years. You absolved her for financial responsibility. She paid it off because she wanted to protect her credit, which is what honorable people do. They pay their bills when they come due, sir. You understand? So I'm ordering you to pay her $5,000. That's the statutory maximum in my courtroom. I'm ordering you to pay her $5,000 for the camper. And Ms. Bakken, I'm asking you to turn over the title to the camper. So what I need for you to do is to sign over the title and send it to my clerk. Once we get possession of the title, we will then, and once he's made the payments to you, we will then send the title to you, sir. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, on your counterclaim for the down payment of the camper, 0. You have now purchased yourself a 2008 camper, and I wish you good luck with it, sir. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Plaintiff Carrie Pinsonneau rented her home to a struggling student from Canada. She says the defendant gave excuse after excuse to not pay rent. She is suing for past due rent payments. Defendant Valentina Herbert says there were problems with the home from the beginning and doesn't feel she owes the homeowner any more than she already paid.
Carrie Pinsonneau?
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing the defendant Valentina Herbert?
Yes.
For $3,389 for unpaid rent, utilities, and court costs.
Yes, ma'am.
So I assume that Ms. Herbert was your tenant for a time period? Okay, tell me when.
Her and her roommate moved in end of December for a 6-month lease, and then in July we re-signed a year lease, and
Okay.
they lived there until the end of July.
Can you describe the property for me?
It is a corner lot in town. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home.
So go ahead, tell me what happened after she moves in. What kind of tenant was she?
They were great at first. They paid their rent, and the first 6 months were great.
The first 6-month lease, they paid rent?
Yep, they were paying rent, and then they were having some problems right at the end. They were behind and they needed some help, and so we agreed to help them out, and they lived up to their agreement.
Okay, so you and your roommate moved into this home. Were you both full-time students? Explain to me what was going on.
Yes, we were both full-time students.
What type of degree were you pursuing?
I'm going for psychology, and he was going for mechanics.
Okay, and you're still in school now?
Yes.
Okay. The first lease they signed was for 6 months. There were no problems with that.
Correct.
It's the next lease, which was a 1-year lease.
Correct.
They signed, there was an issue?
Yes.
Okay, and did you go up on the rent?
No, nothing changed.
Okay, how much were they paying in rent?
$850.
Okay, may I see a copy of that lease? Yes. What was going on, ma'am?
Well, semester ended in springtime, and that's when the rent started backing up.
Okay, at the beginning of this lease, ma'am, how were you paying your rent? What was your source of income?
I was getting a school allowance from my tribe.
From your tribe?
Yes.
What tribe is that?
It's called Notkamiagwaning First Nation.
Okay, and tell me about how that works.
Well, we get funded for post-secondary education.
So you were getting funding for your tribe and you were using that to pay rent?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened, did at some point after the 6 months when you were paying rent and everything was going well, what happened?
It ends when you're out of school, when the school ends in springtime.
Okay, when people are in college and they get student loans and they're using a portion of that to pay rent, they keep part of that money for the summertime when they're not in school so they know that their rent is covered for the entire year. Did you not do that?
No.
Okay.
Next on Judge Faith.
The issue here is you just didn't have enough money. So why don't you just say that, just get it off your chest in court right now. You just tell me the truth. You'll feel much better about it. You want to tell me?
Plaintiff Carrie Pinsino rented her home to a student who doesn't know how to budget her money properly and fell behind on her rent. Defendant Valentina Herbert says she couldn't use part of the home because it was too cold and says the plaintiff had people spying on her, so she refuses to pay.
How much were you getting from the tribe?
I was getting $1,400 a month.
Okay, and your rent?
And that's in Canadian funds.
Did they know you were going to school in America?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have evidence of the months that they failed to pay rent?
I have a ledger.
May I see it, please? Yes. And this is a document that you created?
Yes. And
how are you keeping track of the rent payments?
I have bank statements and then the ledger.
Okay, may I see those as well? Barbara, would you hand those to me? Ms. Pinsino has kept very detailed records about the months that you were late, you didn't pay rent, or you only paid partial rent. Can you tell me what was going on?
Well, first of all, the house wasn't properly insulated. We couldn't use the 1-bedroom because it was so cold in the wintertime. We had to close that off just to conserve heat.
When was that?
That was during the winter months.
Okay, but you knew that before you signed.
No.
Was there a problem with the insulation and the heat?
The property management of the city, they inspect the house. It's insulated.
Are you telling me you withheld rent because it was too cold in the home?
No.
Okay.
But I just feel like I don't owe her the money she's trying to sue me for.
I'm not asking you what you feel. I'm asking you why you did it. Because you didn't pay, you admit that you didn't pay. I read your answer, you admit that you didn't pay this money. I'm just trying to figure out why.
There was a leak from the roof, and it was coming down from the light sockets, and I just
And that's
felt
why you
that-
didn't pay rent?
Yes.
So some months you paid rent, some months you paid partial rent. So was it that the leak wasn't as bad in certain months, the months that you did pay rent?
No. The leak was always there. All they did was come and tape it up.
Did you know anything about a leak?
It leaked in the spring when the snow was melting. And when she reported that, we had someone go clear the snow off, and they put what's called heat tape, which melted the ice. It went down the downspout, and then it stopped leaking.
Is that true?
Yes, and
what month was that?
Probably March.
March of 2014?
And that was plugged in 24/7.
April, May, June, and July. You didn't pay rent those months after the leak was fixed?
Yes, because we were so backed up in light bills as well because that thing was plugged in 24/7. And I didn't know if we were ever going to have an electrical fire from water coming through that roof.
So what were the reasons you didn't pay rent after the leak was fixed?
It was never fixed. It was still all taped up when we moved out.
So you were withholding rent because that leak was never fixed. That's what you're
Yes.
telling me?
And
Okay.
plus we
You know,
were-
you don't sound very believable right now. What's this in your answer about the neighbors spying on you?
Well, her mother had a friend next door, and we didn't know that we were being watched.
So you thought you had a spy?
Apparently we had a spy that was reporting to the landlord.
Okay, Ms. Herbert. What is this part of your lawsuit that is miscellaneous cost?
Some of the utilities for that property follow the property, not the tenant. And so when they left the residence, any utilities, any bills that were not paid, I used the deposit and applied that towards the bill. The outstanding utilities that I had to pay out of pocket are the miscellaneous.
How much was their deposit?
$1,000.
I don't understand why you didn't move for an eviction, but now you're filing a lawsuit for $3,000.
I didn't file for eviction sooner because every time I would talk to them, I felt bad. They were in
But you
school,
don't feel
they were
bad
having
now?
a hard time.
Because you're suing them for $3,000? Where do you think they're going to get the money from?
No idea.
The issue here is you just didn't have enough money. So why don't you just say that, just get it off your chest in court right now. You just tell me the truth. You'll feel much better about it. You want to tell me?
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Do you pay rent where you live now?
Yes.
Are you behind?
No.
How much do you pay now?
$625.
Here's what I'm going to do. Based on the ledgers you have provided to me, I am going to order you, ma'am, to pay back rent in the amount of $2,787 in additional court costs. Judgment for the plaintiff.